First of all, I started out at a country music station. The nicest people in the world are in country music. In fact, I met Jan Jeffries just after leaving a country station. Such a super guy. We just went to business together. And we both agree that living and working in the South is terrific because it's not like anywhere else in the world. I came in here from California, and it's a tough place. You don't say hello to anybody in the elevator. When you're jogging, you just run by and look like you're going to kill each other. It's awful. It's safe to go through certain parts of Los Angeles at 2 a.m. if you're a bullet. But Jan was pointing out to me that you can do anything in the South as long as you say bless his heart or bless her heart. Isn't that great? She's gained 50 pounds, bless her heart. My wife has her cellulite looks like a bunch of cottage cheese, bless her heart. That Joel Denver wrote that article, put those two PDs in prison, bless his heart. It just works like a charm. But I came in, before I introduced Steve Roddy, I got to tell you, I love Nashville because Vanderbilt University has a great medical center. Super. And I have to share something very personal. I came in 2 days ago, and I had a colonoscopy. And I know that makes the crowd kind of quiet, but this is interesting. This is state-of-the-art at Vanderbilt. I recommend you do it. I had this colonoscopy, and the doctor brought me in, and he said, Rick Dees? I said, yes, sir. Yes, doc. He said, sit down a second. He said, I have this big digital screen here, and you can see on the screen, there's your colonoscopy. And he said, we're going to tap it a little bit, and it got bigger and bigger, and he said, as you can see, there's a blockage here in your colon. And I said, whoa. So he tapped the screen, and he tapped it, and it got bigger and bigger. Then all of a sudden, it's in our faces, and I looked at him, I said, oh my God, it's Ryan Seacrest. That guy will do anything to get on video.
All right, now you're here this morning to introduce your best friend as the keynote speaker for CRS. Now, how did that feel?
Wow, it felt great. I remember meeting when we were 17 years old. I was Rick Dees and he was Ken Lowe. He changed his name for the radio to Steve Roddy. And the reason was they didn't have enough money for a jingle in radio to call him Ken Lowe, so they used Steve Norris from Birmingham, Alabama, and Dave Roddy from Houston, Texas. So they got Steve Roddy, and that was his name.
So they stole it.
They stole the name and gave it to him, and I got to still be Rick Dees, so that was an honor. But we became best friends, roommates at the University of North Carolina, and then he went on to be the founder of Home and Garden Television, the CEO and chairman of the board of Scripps, which is incredible, Scripps Interactive, and I went on to, in over 125 countries, lose money.
Wait, now how did you end up losing money in 125 countries?
It's not hard, not easy to do. You got to start out with a lot of money and then lose it fast, and that's what I did. But somewhere along the way, I learned to say, here's Lady Antebellum, or here's Justin Timberlake, or Madonna, or Michael Jackson, or whatever, and say, coming up next, number one. So you don't have to have a high IQ to do that.
We all have something in common here. How many have been fired from a radio station? Come on, raise your hand. Look at this, there's a sea of hands going up. And the rest of you are liars. 2 times come to mind, I swear to God, this is the truth. This is the truth. I was fired, it was on that tape. I just started out and I did 2 things. I tried to do the news and do the radio at the same time, so I grabbed the AP wire and said, we can now report there are no living orgasms on the moon. Program director said, I think that's organisms, Rick. That's organisms. Then there's the next report I said that there's a guy on a bicycle, John Thompson, fell off his bike and crushed his scrotum. And doctors at Duke University got wires and pieced his scrotum back together. His scrotum may never be the same again. It was painful surgery, and his scrotum, we understand, is going to be okay, we hope. And then the hotline rang, and the program director said, Rick, I think the word is sternum.
An event like CRS doesn't exist in any other genre of music, and you coming from more of the pop world, why do you think that it works for the country radio industry, but nobody else has really followed suit?
I love it because country artists and country personalities and programmers and managers all stick together to create just a fun America atmosphere about the music, the lifestyle, loving country, loving family, God, and all of that kind of congeals, and when you get all those people in one room, it's hard to stop them. When you've got different genres of other music, because like in pop, there's CHR, contemporary hit, then there's CHR rhythmic, which has a little more hip hop, then there's total hip hop, then there's this. No one can understand what the others are doing, so nobody gets together. I love that about country. Everybody gets together, and here's the good part, they have a good time.